I don't know what exactly is going on, but we are absolute fucking ass right now. That game against the Giants was the most pathetic, horrendously played game by an Eagles team that I have seen in a very long time. It was so bad that I just turned it off in the middle of the third quarter and sat in fucking silence. Usually, when we are doing bad, I am a very vocal, very yelly type of person. But that game, I just sat in fucking silence. I love this team, but I cannot be blind to the fact that we have sucked in the last couple of weeks and have looked mediocre before that, which is strange because from a talent perspective, we are way better than mediocre, but we are not playing like that because we are playing like dog shit. We'll discuss our takeaways from this game along with some Eagles news and some strategies to hopefully, by some miracle, possibly get a win this weekend over Minnesota. Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into it. What's up, y'all, and welcome to Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network, the best network for all your Philadelphia sports needs. This is your host, Michael Roscoe. Giants fans are relishing in the fact that they beat us. And honestly, with the way we played, they deserve to celebrate. That was a horrible football game by us on all sides of the ball. It was just so disappointing to watch in the moment. And I have a lot of takeaways to go with this game. But before we dive into that, let's go over some Eagles news. So the main piece of news this week is kind of shocking, actually. So just before Monday afternoon, Eagles edge rusher Za'Darius Smith announced his retirement from the NFL after 11 years in the league, but only 5 or so games played for Philadelphia. I don't think anyone realistically saw this coming. There was no indication, no warning, no setting event, at least no publicly announced setting event. Just an Instagram post announcing his retirement and a confirmation from NFL on Fox. It's just one fucking thing after another. We got all these injuries piling up. Then we let the Broncos score 18 unanswered points to win the game. Then we get belt to ass beat from the 1-4 New York Giants with a rookie running back, a rookie quarterback, and their main wide receiver weapons out of the game. And now, one of our few edge rushers who is the leader in sacks just decided he wanted to retire in the middle of the fucking season. I really hope that this decision was based on a personal choice, such as wanting to preserve his body for the future. He was just done playing professionally in general, or something along the lines of that. I'm hoping it is not something like locker room drama or team culture related issues, because that's the conclusion that a lot of people are jumping to, and I get it, because we've been in this domino effect over the past, week and a half or so of just bad shit happening to this team. There's nothing officially confirmed that Za'Darius Smith retired early because of anything locker room culture or drama related, so that's good to hear at least. A very odd and unexpected move, but hey, I wish him all the best, and thanks for the 5 games that he played with us. All right, y'all, let's look at some of our takeaways from week 6, and I am not going to be nice about this. I'm sorry in advance, but there's just a lot of negative feelings I have from this game. Starting off, first takeaway. Coaching is wasting this offense away. It's redundant at this point, and this Eagles game put first-year play caller Kevin Patullo just further on the chopping block. Even Lane Johnson, who rarely speaks critically, if at all publicly to the media, effectively stated that the offense is predictable, which everyone on the planet obviously already fucking knew. But coming from one of your most veteran players who's been with this team for like 12 years and has seen coaches come and go, him saying that this particular offense under Kevin Patullo is predictable, that should emphasize the real problem that Philly's got. And there's a lot of problems, but to me, the main problem this year is coaching, and it's not just Kevin Patullo. Jeff Stoutland, the Eagles' O-line and run game coordinator, is notoriously famous for being one of the best in the game at his role, leading a powerhouse offensive line in an unstoppable run game. We saw it all last year. However, this season is something else. I know that there are some injuries and we had to replace a guard in free agency, but that's not the primary reason why the O-line has shifted so much. Something is going on from the coaching perspective. Now, I'm not outright blaming Jeff Stoutland for anything in particular. I think he's fantastic. But I do think that he's not advocating as well as he could to Kevin Patullo for adjustments to the offense while we are dealing with said injuries. And then you got Nick Sirianni, the man who gave Kevin Patullo his job. I just don't get how he didn't learn from the last internal hire, or why he hasn't gotten the picture yet that his other internal OC hire is also looking like a failure. But this ignorance is contributing to the demise of our offense. The offensive coaching has been outright abysmal, and if we want any chance of going deep into the playoffs, hell, even just making the playoffs at this point, then there needs to be changes within this offensive coaching. And that could be just ideological adjustments, repositioning responsibilities, firing Kevin Patullo. Whatever needs to happen has got to happen and has got to happen fast. Now, I'm not ignorant to the fact that there are other factors contributing to the poor offensive play. You got our quarterback, Jalen Hurts, the past couple of games, has made too many overthrows that could have easily been scores, as well as he's been bad recently with decision-making and clock management, such as trying to throw to Jahan Dotson in double coverage that led to an interception when you had AJ wide open, or sliding before the first down with 2 yards to go when you had at least 5 to 6 open yards in front of you with less than 10 seconds left in the half. But it's hard when the latest scheme that he's a part of is set up to fail all of our offense. Devontae Smith, one of the best deep ball receivers and route runners in the league, his route tree from this game had 3 to 4 different routes, but all some type of variation of a go route and maybe one slant route. Only 3 to 4 different routes. That is horrible. Meanwhile, you look at Cowboys wide receiver George Pickens' route tree, and there's like 14 to 15 unique routes. You have goes, slants, in and outs, and he fucking scored with this route tree, while Devontae Smith did not. And A.J. Brown has had a similar route tree in like half of his games. And those route trees are on the offensive coordinator. He's calling the same fucking, 8 or 9 plays or so, and has been doing so all season long. Kevin Patullo's offense is so basic, it takes Instagram photos of their Starbucks on the way to Trader Joe's after their yoga session. Middle school offenses are using Patullo's scheme as a fucking starter guide for 11-year-old wide receivers. And his offense sucks in the run too. Saquon Barkley has 462 total scrimmage yards this season. Meanwhile, Panthers running back Rico Dowdle had 473 yards in just 2 fucking games. That is just outright ridiculous. My point with all this is that, and I've said this before, there is too much talent on this team for it to have sucked the way they have really in the last 3 games or so. We almost blew it against Tampa we got embarrassed by Denver and just got absolutely fucking humiliated by the New York Giants because our offensive coaching is in denial. They refuse to make actual game time adjustments. They refuse to acknowledge or take accountability for their letdowns. You got Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni speaking to the media like fucking politicians, saying 1,000 words and giving zero answers. They're in denial and ignorant to their own shortcomings. And if this embarrassing loss against the Giants is not a fucking wake-up call to them, then I don't know what will be, and we might as well just tank the rest of the season. Next takeaway. On the opposite side of the ball, our defense is playing soft as hell. Now, I get it. 2 games in 4 days in relatively warm weather, you got some injuries. It ain't easy, I get it. But a lot of other teams have to do the same thing, and obviously half of them win their fucking games, so you can't put all the blame there. Adoree Jackson and Kelee Ringo all together were playing soft, getting cooked every time, and just looked like they weren't even putting in any effort. We saw Jackson Dart make Zach Bond look like a fool, and this was easily one of Bond's worst games, I think, ever, or at least this season, which is something I don't find myself saying about him, at all. Then our pass rush just seemed non-existent. It was a team effort of shitting the bed. That goal line hit from Adoree Jackson on Giants running back Cam Skattebo, that was just pathetic. He led with the shoulder, didn't wrap up, made no attempt to go back after him after the first hit didn't do shit. He just let him walk right into the fucking end zone. Jackson, what the fuck are you doing, man? And I wonder if Kelee Ringo wants to fucking play football for this team at any point. He's getting absolutely burnt out there. Then rookie DB Andrew Makuba had an awful missed tackle that led to a touchdown. But to be honest, that was his worst and only real mistake of the season so far, so I'll let that slide. But my God, what has happened to the overall energy of this defense? We were running motherfuckers over. I know we lost a couple of key players in free agency, and we've had injuries like Quinyon Mitchell, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter, and more. But what happened to the next man up mentality? It doesn't seem like the depth defensive players have any energy or desire to take the shot that they are given when the first string players go down to make a name for themselves. This defense was without Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, and then lost Quinyon Mitchell in the middle of the game, while not having a true cornerback 2 all season long, so I get it that the defense is struggling without key players. But at the same time, especially as a depth player, you just don't give up. If anything, that should be motivation for you guys to play at 150%. However, the defense did not play nearly up to their potential, and the problem to me was the energy, the motivation, the mood. Basically, everything emotionally and psychologically related was wrong in this game. Because there's physical talent on the field, give or take a couple of exceptions, this defense has just got to get back into the right mindset. Next takeaway. On the final part of the ball, special teams. It's been a fucking nightmare. The Eagles trade for Tank Bigsby to help out in the return game, as we released Avery Williams, who planned to be on the return specialist earlier in the year. It hasn't been good. Between Tank Bigsby, Jahan Dotson, John Mechie, Will Shipley, Xavier Gibson, and Cooper DeJean, the team has less than 10 yards per punt return on average and just over 20 yards per kick return. To put in perspective, last year we were averaging around 27 yards per kick return, and we were actually 0.4 yards per punt return better this year. But the point is, overall, it has not been great. On the other side of the ball, the Eagles have allowed an average of 142 total combined yards on punt and kick returns per game. We got to get the tackling underway because teams are just gaining horrible, for us, amounts of yards. The light of the special teams has been our punter and our kicker. Elliott and Mann have been pretty spot on this year. They haven't made any real critical mistakes so far. So hopefully that trend keeps going in the right direction. But the rest of special teams, they better hit the fucking tackling dummies before Sunday's game. And our final takeaway from this game is Howie Roseman's overall offseason acquisitions have not been it. Usually, Howie has been having great off seasons over the past few years, typically within the draft. We watched him get Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and other powerhouses throughout the draft or off-season acquisitions and trades. However, it has not been the case this year. Trading for Tank Bigsby hasn't panned out, neither has acquiring Xavier Gipson. Adoree Jackson has been bad, Josh Uche doesn't have great numbers, Azeez Ojulari was a healthy scratch for up until week 4? Howie Roseman decided to go the cheap route this year, and it has been a bust. You gotta spend money to get results, and when Howie Roseman decided to shop the clearance section this year, he got exactly what he paid for. He absolutely needs to cash in on an edge rusher, a corner, or preferably both before the trade deadline. We've seen his wizardry before, but we are desperate for a major change, and we are desperate for it right now. All right, y'all, now we're going to shift into the Week 7 preview. So, the Birds will be coming off a mini bye week after getting embarrassed in the Meadowlands. Meanwhile, it looks like the Vikings could have their quarterback one, J.J. McCarthy, back in for the NFC matchup coming off an official bye week of their own. However, if that's not the case, Carson Wentz has been looking pretty good this year, and that's something I thought I would not find myself saying at least over the past couple years or so. The Vikings are 3-2, with their last win being a narrow victory over the Cleveland Browns, while the Birds have dropped 2 in a row, but still currently lead the NFC East with a 4-2 record. Here's what I think the Birds need to do if they have any fucking chance of winning this weekend. And the first one is just pray that Quinyon Mitchell can play. I am just imagining now how much Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson are going to light us the fuck up if Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson are our starting corners this Sunday. Both of them out on the field at the same time. I'm sorry. I'm just being real. I hate the idea of it. I have no hope at this point in time for both of them being on the field at the same time, having an excellent game. Now, as of Wednesday, when I record my episodes, it was reported that Quinyon Mitchell participated in Wednesday's practice. So hopefully we have him back and he can line up against Justin Jefferson, and then that side of the field is at least taken care of. If that happens, it'll be a lot easier for us to expect the Vikings to target Jordan Addison a lot, especially since on Tuesday, Vic Fangio confirmed that Adoree Jackson will start at the cornerback 2 position. If this is the case, our other secondary players, our nickel, our safeties, they're going to have to drop in and support the side that Jackson and Addison are on. Because if Adoree Jackson plays the way he did against the Giants, Jordan Addison could have a career fucking game. Next strategy. This is pretty simple at this point. And that's run the motherfucking ball, y'all. That has been our strongest identity, and we haven't been able to do it effectively this year. I'm not just asking this of our running backs, but of our quarterback too. Minnesota has allowed almost 6 yards a carry to opposing quarterbacks, and Hurts has been one of the best rushing QBs over the past few seasons. He needs to run the ball when he doesn't have an immediate opening, especially with the pass rush coming from the Vikings line. And Jalen Hurts has got to stop going on holiday in the damn pocket. Saquon's numbers haven't been great, but it's not like his talent has just been sucked out of him like the Monstars did in Space Jam. We just got to figure out what the hell's going wrong in the run game and correct it. It is that simple. Our focal point has been our run game, but we got to correct it and use it against the Vikings because the DBs that they have are going to make it a tough day for our wide receivers. And last strategy, I'm telling y'all, put Nakobe Dean back at inside linebacker and move Jahad Campbell to the edge. With Za'Darius Smith's retirement and the fact that as of right now we have not made a powerful signing at edge, it makes too much sense for me to line up Jahad Campbell on the edge where he has experience at and play him there this game. A well-rested Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, and Jihad Campbell trio on the field at the same time? That sounds pretty fucking scary to opposing offenses. Jalix Hunt hasn't been bad, but he hasn't lived up to his 2024 numbers. Then you have Josh Uche, Aziz Ojulari, and Patrick Johnson as our other healthy edge rushers. We need to add to that depth on the edge, especially with how injury-ridden this team has been. Maybe it'll add a spark to this defense to have another leader back on the field, as well as a powerhouse rookie being closer on the line to hopefully blow up the backfield. The Vikings O-line has allowed 21 sacks over their last 5 games. We have had a strong pass rush before, but it hasn't been looking that way so far this year. But maybe, just maybe, Jihad Campbell can provide much needed support with our passing rush to make it look scary again. All right, before we end this episode, I got some predictions. And look, I'll be honest, this is hard for me to predict because I don't have a lot of faith, but at the same time, I need to be optimistic. So I'll give a situational prediction. So if Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson are the starting corners, then we're getting our ass handed to us. However, if Quinyon is one of our corners and we get Jalen Carter back in the game, and we set up Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, and Jihad Campbell in that trio I just talked about, then I believe we have just a chance. If all those stars align, I think we come out with a narrow victory. I'm talking like a 24-23 victory. I think Dallas Goedert continues his touchdown success with a score of his own. And then I'm going to go a little crazy here. And I think Saquon gets 2 TDs on the ground and reminds everyone of just who the hell he is. All right, y'all, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok by searching at 2nd and 15 or by the full name 2nd and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast. You can also find the audio for each and every single episode releasing Thursday mornings on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Player FM, Pocket Casts, or wherever you get your podcasts. The video for each episode will be released later that same day onto YouTube. This episode, 2nd and 15, and Old City Sports Network are sponsored by SeatGeek. Go to SeatGeek.com or download the app and use our promo code Old City Sports Network for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's SeatGeek.com or on the app. Use promo code Old City Sports Network, all one word, for a great discount on your next purchase. Once again, thanks y'all for joining in. This is 2nd and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network. Don't forget to check out this Week 7 NFC matchup this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you all next week. Don't forget to stay fly like an eagle, and as always, go Birds!